Until we accept reality, we can't make any progress.
It's a shame. I was comfortable there. It was all fun while it lasted, but it's time to bid it kind goodbye. Yeah, life goes on like it always does. That's true.
Play it, Sam. Play as time goes by.
What the fuck have you done lately?
Hey, as time goes by.
What are you doing up?
Well,
I couldn't sleep.
good evening then.
What do I give? How do I live in this life of ours? All I know is that I take plenty from here under the stars. I won't revive, I won't relive. I accept what I've done and I forgive. What do I give? How do I live in this life of ours? All I know is that I take plenty from here under the stars. I won't revive, I won't relive. I accept what I've done and I forgive. What do I give? How do I live in this life of ours? All I know is that I take plenty from here under the stars. I won't revive, I won't relive. I accept what I've done and I forgive. Nebulous days lead me to ravenous haze. Nebulous days lead me to ravenous haze, which will block my gaze. Illusory ways make feelings that don't stay. In and out they face. Is it always that? My tangible wishes are just out of reach. Nebulous days lead me to ravenous haze, which will block my gaze. Illusory ways make feelings that don't stay. In and out they face. Is it always that? My intangible wishes are just out of reach.
やれやれ退屈だと言って何も行動せず刺激を求める割には挑戦しない
Feelings that don't stay. Feelings that don't stay. Feelings that don't stay.
いいかい埼玉市人生は当てのない旅だよ新しい景色を見るためには自分で道を切り開くしかないんだ
Is it always that? Is it always that? My intangible wishes are just out of reach. Are just out of reach. Is it always that? Is it always that? Join me for an adventure, oh, much like any other, with twists and turns and plot devices, words and wonder. Now my advice is listen close. What makes this story different is the teller and the told. This one's ours and it's waiting to unfold. So come be merry with Join me for an adventure, oh, much like any other, with twists and turns and plot devices, words and wonder. Now my advice is listen close. What makes this story different is the teller and the told. This one's ours and it's waiting to unfold.
Alright, enough tomfoolery. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition. Hang on. Got to adjust the mic a little more. Welcome again to Mary Mitch. How's everybody doing? How are we how are we feeling tonight? On this lovely Thursday night. I am pleased to be here. I had that interview today, and it went swimmingly, if I do say so myself. It's pretty exciting. I think I have a good chance of getting it. Oh yes, I'm feeling confident about it, but I will know come Tuesday of next week. So everybody, keep me in their prayers and be crossing your fingers for me. I don't mean just like casually crossing them. I need like every single finger crossed, like triple, quadruple crossed. All right. Hey, guys, remember? I don't know. I think it was in a previous stream. I said my dad occasionally comes and hangs out with us in stream, and lo and behold, there he be. if you'll excuse my pun. But heck yeah, Mary Pops. All good tonight. Nice. I'm glad to hear you're doing well, Dad. And man, I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen you at the stream, so I'm giddy to see you, to say the least. But heck yeah, the interview was pretty darn nice, and it's really exciting too, because if I get that position, I'm gonna have such a steadier schedule in the upcoming year, which I think is going to do a lot of good for me. So I'm really pumped about that. I'm excited. Along with that, after I finished up the interview, I came back home for a short bit, but then I went back out to get these lovely photos printed off. And I think this one is my favorite. One of Grover. Oh. But anyways, I'm gonna be using those. I'm gonna be using those in a in a video I'm filming this weekend, I believe. So in other words, I went out to get supplies for the video this weekend, or the video that I'm gonna be shooting with Jafando and Tentington this weekend. So the only thing I could not procure was a one of those horse stick things. You know what I'm talking about? Do they have an actual name? Like a normal name? I just know it as horse stick thing that you ride. If anybody knows what those are called, I would be grateful to know. But I couldn't find one of them. So I don't know. I may try my luck at a Walmart or something tomorrow. But the Dollar General did not carry them. Uh, yeah, so I went out. I got those. Pony on a stick. Hey. Yeah, I think that is the term. Or the phrase, rather. But yeah, so I went out and I did that. When I got home, I had a little therapy session. Bada bing, bada boom, which was pretty darn nice. You know, I'm I don't know, this is gonna sound odd. I don't know. I feel like this is gonna sound like worse than I mean it to, but I'm a lot less sad than I was last week. Um, which is, yeah, that's just the simple truth of it, you know. I'm a lot less sad today than I was at this point in last week. Um, so it was nice, you know. My therapy guy, we'll call him uh Lin Lin Manuel Mirandanamore. um, yes, Lin Manuel Mindanamore. He he was he was way happier to, you know, to see me with a smile on my face and a twinkle in my eye. Um, so that was good. And then after that, I cooked myself dinner, and also whilst I was doing that, I prepared food for the remainder of the week, which is good. Made a solid meal. I That's one thing that I struggle to to get myself to do is cooking myself meals. So I'm glad I did that. I made like a nice kind of Indian style yellow curry. I think it was like, I don't know. It was a curry recipe that I've done in the past, but I just kind of winged it this time, and it came out, yeah, just a lot more yellow than the last time. I think it's meant to be like a red curry, but hey, you know, sometimes you shoot for red curry, wind up with yellow. I'd like to try my hand at green curry at some point. I wanna do all the curry. Curry is just good. Making up recipes as you go is the best. Heck yeah, it was a lot of fun. I remembered something though that I want to do with pretty much all my rice if I can. If you throw in a cinnamon stick broken in half and some cardamom spice or some ground cardamom into the rice, like before it starts cooking, like you throw that in there first with the coconut oil, you know, let that kind of heat up a little bit, and then throw in the rice and the water, stir it on up, cover it, and let it cook with the cinnamon stick and the cardamom in there. It brings out like a nice aroma and a nice flavor. I don't know. It adds a little something to that rice. It really is. And I was happy to make that recipe again. And it's cool that, like, I don't know, occasionally, like, I try to make, if like I tell myself, oh, if I'm gonna go and do like this cooking thing, I'm gonna go big and I'm gonna try something new. But I don't know, that doesn't have to always be the case. I think like curry is now like kind of a staple for me. It's one of like the main dishes that I for sure know how to make. And yeah, it's good and reliable. So yeah, I'm freaking proud of myself for cooking tonight. Woo! Way to go, Mitch. And now I'm ready to read to read some Lost Hero. Sorry, that might have been a little that might have been a little too A little too much excitement for this hour. I apologize. Let's wind things down and get into the recap. Shall we? Last time on The Lost Hero. We Piper ran into a bit of friction amongst her fellow cabin mates. You know, after being claimed by Aphrodite the previous night, she was determined to be the one to go on the quest with Jason, so she wouldn't be with the Aphrodite kids for very long, but she did have to spend, you know, at least the evening with them. And even that much, Drew just couldn't help herself. Drew just couldn't help herself, could she? Just had to go and make an example of Piper. You know? Saying things like, oh, you know, I never even wanted to go on the quest in the first place. In fact, you know, this whole questing thing isn't even what Aphrodite is really about, you know? Kind of slandering Piper and saying that what she's doing is, and trying to convince the rest of the cabin that what she's doing is against what dear old mom would want. Amongst other things, you know. Drew just being a general dunderhead, doofus, McButtface. Thankfully, Lacey and Mitchell were there to be a light in the pink darkness that is the Aphrodite cabin. You know, Lucy being a younger girl there with, you know, a brace-filled smile, and Mitchell being I don't know, just a Aphrodite kid who doesn't like Drew. I'm pretty sure that kind of sums up his character arc. But yeah, thankfully she was treated well by at least a couple of her siblings. When Piper was finally ready to go, she walked outside, and lo and behold, a dragon came swooping down from the sky. Came swooping. You know, the whole camp went into a bit of a frenzy, like thinking, oh, there's that dragon we misplaced. Now it's here to destroy us all, isn't it? But thankfully Leo was the one riding this beast, and, you know, upon landing Festus down in the midst of Camp Half-Blood, he throws up his hands and says, whoa, 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 we come in peace. You know, the entire camp is mystified by this, by oh, thank you for the host again, Great Kazoo. I appreciate that. Oh, snap. And no worries. I'm glad to see you're back. We're just in the midst of the recap. The entire camp was pretty mystified at Leo's, you know, sudden and out of the blue taming of this great brass beast. And most of all, Nisa, you know, the Hephaestus cabin mate that had kind of shown Leo the ropes, was especially mystified because this so-called Festus, this brass dragon, didn't previously have wings. And when she asked about it, Leo said, yeah, I found those in the woods. and I put him on there, and now we're good to go. Which, one of those instances where he didn't technically lie, but he wasn't telling the whole truth, was he? But he decided to keep Bunker 9 a secret for now. Apparently getting from there not only the wings, but also some kind of fancy new tool belt. Not sure what that's about. Soon enough, Piper, Jason, and Leo said goodbye to the few that they had, formed any kind of connection with at Camp Half-Blood. Jason saying goodbye to Annabeth. And they were off to find the god of the North Wind, Boreas. We got a little glimpse into how Leo felt, riding a dragon into the middle of camp, which, was pretty much summed up to, that was freaking awesome. Which, I mean, who could blame him? And with this flight across the country and into Canada, flying towards Quebec, they had the chance, the three of them, to consolidate their information, put together their heads and really think through, what is it that we all know so far, and how does it help us, and how does it clarify things? And through that, they figured out that Jason's plan is pretty much solid. They're going to try to find the god of the North Wind, grill him about information about the Venti, so that they can find the Venti and hopefully in turn find their mistress, who is supposedly the one that is going to be unleashed or something. And with Leo's admittance to his past with Era / Tia Kalita, and his opening up about his mother's death. Not exactly everything that happened that night, but opening up at least about the weird lady that seemed to be cloaked in an earthen shroud. With Leo opening up about that, they believe that maybe this lady is the one that has captured Era and is holding her captive. And we left off with good old Valdez conking out, hitting the snooze on the back of Festus. Yeah, I think that about sums it up. Am I missing anything too important? Let me think for a moment. Oh, I'd say the only other thing that I think I want to mention is that Drew, as a part of her grilling Piper, she kept mentioning something about how Selena Beauregard had wound up betraying Camp Half-Blood, and how, and hinting at the fact that she knows that Piper is planning to betray Jason, Camp Half-Blood, Chiron, and everyone. Piper doesn't know for sure whether or not Drew truly knows this, but it certainly scares the heck out of her. Hey, what's up, May? Gotta run, but you can find a stick horse at Walmart. Yeah, I figured I could. And I did go to a Walmart today, but it turned out to be the neighborhood grocery Walmart. It was right nearby the Staples where I was getting the pictures printed off. But alas, it turns out that, you know, a grocery Walmart does not carry stick horses. They in fact only carry produce and and food items, if you'd believe it. Let's see, description: spark, create, imagine, plush stick horse, assorted 30-inch. That sounds pretty wonderful. Sounds like I'm getting way more than just a pony on a stick. Hey, May. Oh, and also, good night, Dad. I pray that you sleep well. I know that when I told you I was having trouble with my sleep recently, I know you've had trouble with that in the past, so I'm hoping that tonight's snooze is all good news. But yeah, sleep tight and sweet dreams. I love you. Alright, cool beans. And that I love you was only for my dad, guys. I'll give you guys your own I love you later on. But that one was for Pops. The neighborhood Walmart? Yeah, that one. Yeah, the type of Walmart that's just grocery stuff. Alright, guys. I'm ready to read. So settle in, get cozy, get comfy. And get ready to hear a bedtime story. Wait, did you say Dad? I did say Dad. If you'll look a slight bit up in the chat, my dad goes by the username B1s. So that's Papa Mary. So if you ever see him in chat, be sure to give him some love, because he is deserving of all the love we can give. And I mean that. And yes, most certainly spoilers time. Yeah, no jokes or anything. That's my real dad. I did not even know there was bedtime ASMR. But you're the definition of it. Well, shoot. Let's see, what can I call you? 1102 ICU. Lotu Iku. Trying to form your name into I don't know, form the numbers into a kind of lettered way. I kind of like that. Lotu Iku. But heck yeah, man. I definitely don't think there's too many channels that are doing what I'm doing. And that's part of why I started up the channel. I saw a niche that I could fit into, where I could, do something that I really love doing, which is reading some bedtime stories. So, sit back and relax and enjoy the next chapter of The Lost Hero. Alright, enough delay. OMG, no one does this stuff where I can join and fall asleep to it. Facts, this is a great channel. Like, you're literally the only one. Man, and that's honestly wild. You know, it's not often that that a unique concept comes to Twitch. I think, at least nowadays. I suppose I might not be on Twitch often enough to see like unique stuff coming and going, but heck, it's not often that I have like a an idea that's unique. So I'm happy I can fill that niche. But I won't be able to fill it very well if I keep on delaying the chapter. So let's go ahead and get into it. There are people that do lullabies. Snap. That sounds pretty nice. Yeah, I love how much music there is on Twitch. Like, I have, there's this channel that I really adore. David Gilbert, I believe is what he goes by. But yeah, he's a real nice singer. Does a lot of bass stuff too. Some funky jams. Okay. We can talk more at the break, I promise. But this is The Lost Hero by Rick Riordan. "18. Leo. It seemed he only slept for seconds, but when Piper shook him awake, the daylight was fading. "We're here," she said. Leo rubbed the sleep out of his eyes. Below them, a city sat on a cliff overlooking a river. The plains around it were dusted with snow, but the city itself glowed warmly in the winter sunset. Buildings crowded together inside high walls, like a medieval town, way older than any place Leo had seen before. In the center was an actual castle. At least, Leo assumed it was a castle, with massive red brick walls and a square tower with a peaked green gabled roof. Tell me that's Quebec and not Santa's workshop? Leo said. Yeah, Quebec City, Piper confirmed. One of the oldest cities in North America. Founded around 1600 or so, I think. Leo raised an eyebrow. Your dad do a movie about that too? She made a face at him. Your dad do a movie about that too? She made a face at him, which Leo was used to, but it didn't quite work with her new glamorous makeup. I read sometimes, okay? Just because Aphrodite claimed me doesn't mean I have to be an airhead. Feisty. Ow! Leo said. So you know so much. What's the castle? So, you know so much. What's the castle? A hotel, I think? Leo laughed. No way. But as they got closer, Leo saw she was right. The grand entrance was bustling with doormen, valets, and porters taking bags. Sleek black luxury cars idled in the drive. People in elegant suits and winter cloaks hurried to get out of the cold. The North Wind is staying in a hotel? Leo said. I mean, that can't be. Heads up, guys, Jason interrupted. We got company. Leo looked below and saw that Jason was right. Rising from the top of the tower were two winged figures. angry angels with nasty-looking swords. Festus didn't like the angel guys. He swooped to a halt in midair, wings beating and talons barred, and made a rumbling sound in his throat that Leo recognized. He was getting ready to blow fire. "Steady, boy, steady," Leo muttered. Something told him the angels would not take kindly to getting torched. "I don't like this," Jason said. "They look like storm spirits." At first, Leo thought he was right, but as the angels got closer, he could see they were much more solid than Venti. They looked like regular teenagers, except for their icy white hair and feathery purple wings. Their bronze swords were jagged like icicles. Their faces looked similar enough that they might have been brothers, but they definitely weren't twins. One was the size of an ox, with a bright red hockey jersey, baggy sweatpants, and black leather cleats. The guy clearly had been in too many fights, because both his eyes were black, and when he bared his teeth, several of them were missing. The other guy looked like he just stepped off one of Leo's mom's 1980s rock album covers. Journey, maybe. Or Hall & Oates. Or something even lamer. His ice-white hair was long and feathered into a mullet. He wore pointy-toed leather shoes, designer pants that were way too tight, and a god-awful silk shirt with the top 3 buttons open. Maybe he thought he looked like a groovy love god, but the guy couldn't have weighed more than 90 pounds, and he had a bad case of acne. "Oh, thank you, May. I hope you sleep well." The angels pulled up in front of the dragon and hovered there, swords at the ready. The hockey ox guy grunted. "No clearance." "Excuse me?" Leo said. You have no flight plan on file," explained the groovy love god. "You have no flight plan on file," explained the groovy love god. On top of his other problems. Oh no. He had a French accent. So bad, Leo was sure it was fake. "This is a restricted area." "This is a restricted area." I guess it's a good thing it's described as bad. Whew. "Destroy them." The ox showed off his gap-toothed grin. The dragon began to hiss steam, ready to defend them. Jason summoned his golden sword, but Leo cried, "Hold on! Let's have some manners here, boys. Can I at least find out who has the honor of destroying me?" "I am Carl," the ox grunted. He looked very proud of himself, like he'd taken a long time to memorize that sentence. "That's short for Calais," the love god said. Sadly, my brother cannot say words with more than 2 syllables. 2 syllables. Gosh, whenever I try to do a French accent, it turns into Russian so quickly. Hey, don't worry about it, Ava. I'm laughing right along with you. Sacre bleu. A French accent. Sadly, my brother cannot say words with more than 2 syllables.
Pizza. Hockey. Destroy.
Cal offered, which includes his own name. The love god finished.
I am Cal,
Cal repeated.
and this is Zeeths, my brother.
Wow, Leo said. That was almost 3 sentences, man! Way to go! Cal grunted, obviously pleased with himself. Stupid buffoon, his brother grumbled. They make fun of you, but no matter. I am Zeus, which is short for Zeus. And the lady here. He winked at Piper, but the wink was more like a facial seizure. She can call me anything she likes. Perhaps she would like to have dinner with a famous demigod before we must destroy you. Piper made a sound like gagging on a cough drop. That's a truly horrifying offer. It is no problem. It is no problem. Zeth wiggled his eyebrows. We are a very romantic people, we Boreads. Boreads? Jason cut in. Do you mean, like, the sons of Boreas? Ah, so you've heard of us. Zeth looked pleased. We are our father's gatekeepers, so you understand we cannot have unauthorized people flying in his airspace on creaky dragons, scaring the silly mortal peoples. Scaring the little mortals. He pointed below, and Leo saw that the mortals were starting to take notice. Several were pointing up, not with alarm yet, more with confusion and annoyance, like the dragon was a traffic helicopter flying too low. Oh, thank you, Latu, I see you. I appreciate that. Which is sadly why, unless this is an emergency landing, Zeth said, brushing his hair out of his acne-covered face, we will have to destroy you painfully.
Destroy!
Cal agreed, with a little more enthusiasm than Leo thought necessary. Wait, Piper said. This is an emergency landing.
Aww.
Cal looked so disappointed, Leo almost felt sorry for him. Zeth studied Piper, which of course he'd already been doing. How does the pretty girl decide this is an emergency? Huh? We have to see Boreas. It's totally urgent. Please? She forced a smile, which Leo figured must have been killing her. but she still had the blessing of Aphrodite thing. So, she looked great. Something about her voice, too. Leo found himself believing every word. Jason was nodding, looking absolutely convinced. Zeths picked at his silk shirt, probably making sure it was still open wide enough.
Well, I hate to disappoint a lovely lady, but you see, my sister, she would have an avalanche if we allowed you.
And our dragon is malfunctioning, Piper added. It could crash any minute. Festus shuddered helpfully, then turned his head and spilled gunk out of his ear, splattering a black Mercedes in the parking lot below.
No destroy.
Cal whimpered.
No destroy?
Cal whimpered. Zeth pondered the problem. Then he gave Piper another spasmodic wink.
Well, you are pretty. I mean, you're right. A malfunctioning dragon. This could be an emergency.
Destroy them later?
Cal offered, which was probably as close to friendly as he ever got.
It will take some explaining,
Zeth decided.
Father has not been kind to visitors lately. But yes, come, 40 dragon people, follow us.
The Boreads sheathed their swords and pulled smaller weapons from their belts, or at least Leo thought they were weapons. When the Boreads switched them on, and Leo realized they were flashlights with orange cones, like the ones traffic controller guys use on runways, Cal and Zeths turned and swooped toward the hotel's tower. Leo turned to his friends.
I love these guys.
Follow them? Jason and Piper didn't look eager. Follow them? I guess, Jason decided. We're here now. But I wonder why Boreas hasn't been kind to visitors.
He just hasn't met us.
Leo whistled.
Festus, after those flashlights.
As they got closer, Leo worried they'd crash into the tower. The Boreads made right for the green gabbled peak and didn't slow down. Then a section of the slanted roof slid open, revealing an entrance easily wide enough for Festus. The top and bottom were lined with icicles like jagged teeth. This can't be good, Jason muttered, but Leo spurred the dragon downward, and they swooped in after the Boreads.
Gabbled. Gabbled.
Gabbled is a great word. One I haven't thought of in a long time, too. They landed in what must have been the penthouse suite, but the place had been hit by a flash freeze. Are you saying like that's genuinely how it's pronounced? Or are you just making a pun? Being punny. Yes, that's how it's pronounced? Gabled? Not gabbled? No way. No way, dude. What? I don't know. I do trust you, though. You've been right on most things. 100% serious. Okay. If it comes up again, shoot. I like gabbled. I don't know. That's how that's what it looks like it would be pronounced as, but hey, I don't make up the rules. The entry hall had vaulted ceilings 40 feet high, huge draped windows, and lush oriental carpets. A staircase at the back of the room led up to another equally massive hall, and more corridors branched off to the left and right. Oh, no worries, Lotu. I'm glad to have you back. Let me know if you need to be caught up on anything. I don't know how much you missed. But the ice made the room's beauty a little frightening. When Leo slid off the dragon, the carpet crunched under his feet. A fine layer of frost covered the furniture. The curtains didn't budge because they were frozen solid, and the ice-coated windows let in weird, watery light from the sunset. Even the ceiling was furry with icicles. As for the stairs, Leo was sure he'd slip and break his neck if he tried to climb them. Ah, right on. Guys, Leo said. Guys, Leo said. Fix the thermostat in here. Fix the thermostat in here? And I would totally move in. Not me. Jason looked uneasily at the staircase. Something feels wrong. Something up there. Festus shuddered and snorted flames. Frost started to form on his scales. No. Zeths marched over, though how he could walk in those pointy leather shoes, Leo had no idea. The dragon must be deactivated. We can't have fire in here. The heat ruins my hair. Festus growled and spun his drill bit teeth. It's okay, boy. It's okay. Leo turned to Zeths. The dragon's a little touchy about the whole deactivation concept, but I've got a better solution.
Destroy?
Cal suggested. No, man. You gotta stop with the destroy talk. Just wait. Leo, Piper said nervously. What are you... Watch and learn, beauty queen. When I was repairing Festus last night, I found all kinds of buttons. Some you do not want to know what they do, but others? Here we go. Leo hooked his finger behind the dragon's left foreleg. He pulled a switch, and the dragon shuddered from head to toe. Everyone backed away as Festus folded like origami. His bronze plating stacked together. His neck and tail contracted into his body. His wings collapsed and his trunk compacted until he was a rectangular metal wedge the size of a suitcase. Leo tried to lift it, but the thing weighed about 6 billion pounds.
Yeah. Oh. Hold on. I think... okay.
He pushed another button. A handle flipped up on the top, and wheels clicked out on the bottom.
Ta-da!
He announced, "The world's heaviest carry-on bag." The world's heaviest carry-on bag. "That's impossible," Jason said. "Something that big couldn't..."
Stop!
Zeth's ordered. He and Cal both drew their swords and glared at Leo. Leo raised his hands.
Okay. What I do? Stay calm, guys. If it bothers you that much, I can have... I don't have to take the dragon as a carry-on. Who are you?
Zeth shoved the point of his sword against Leo's chest.
A child of South Wind. A child of the South Wind spying on us.
What? No, Leo said. Son of Hephaestus? Friendly blacksmith. No harm to anyone. Cal growled. He put his face up to Leo's, and he definitely wasn't any prettier at point blank, with his bruised eyes and bashed-in mouth.
Smell fire,
he said.
Fire is bad.
Oh, Leo's heart raced. Yeah, well, my clothes are kind of singed, and I've been working with oil and...
No.
Zeth pushed Leo back at sword point.
We can smell fire, demigod. We assumed it was from the creaky dragon, but now the dragon is in a suitcase. And I still smell fire on you.
If it hadn't been like 3 degrees in the penthouse, Leo would have started sweating. Hey, look, I don't know. He glanced at his friends desperately. Guys, a little help? Jason already had his golden coin in his hand. He stepped forward, his eyes on Zeth's. Look, there's been a mistake. Leo isn't a fire guy. Tell them, Leo. Tell them you're not a fire guy. Seth's? Piper tried her dazzling smile again, though she looked a little too nervous and cold to pull it off. We're all friends here. Put down your sword and let's talk.
The girl is pretty,
Zeth admitted.
and of course she cannot help being attracted to my amazingness. But sadly, I cannot romance her at this time.
He poked his sword point further into Leo's chest, and Leo could feel the frost spreading across his shirt, turning his skin numb. Transformer. Heck yeah. He wished he could reactivate Festus. He needed some backup, but it would have taken several minutes, even if he could reach the button, with 2 purple-winged crazy guys in his path.
Destroy him now?
Cal asked his brother. Zeth nodded.
Sadly, I think...
No, Jason insisted. He sounded calm enough, but Leo figured he was about 2 seconds away from flipping that coin and going into full gladiator mode. Leo's just a son of Hephaestus. He's no threat. Piper here is a daughter of Aphrodite. I'm the son of Zeus. We're on a peaceful... Jason's voice faltered, because both Boreads had suddenly turned on him.
What did you say? Zeth demanded. You are the son of Zeus.
Yeah, Jason said. That's a good thing, right? My name is Jason. Cal looked so surprised he almost dropped his sword.
Can't be Jason.
He said.
Doesn't look the same.
Zeth stepped forward and squinted at Jason's face.
No, he is not our Jason. Our Jason was more stylish. Not as much as me, but stylish. Besides, our Jason died millennia ago.
Wait, Jason said. Your Jason? You mean the original Jason? The Golden Fleece guy?
Of course, Zeth said. We were his crewmates aboard his ship, the Argo, in the old times, when we were mortal demigods. Then we accepted immortality to serve our Father, so I could look this good for all time, and my silly brother could enjoy pizza and hockey.
Hockey.
Cal agreed.
But Jason, our Jason, he died a mortal death.
Zeth said.
You can't be him.
I'm not, Jason agreed. I'm not, Jason agreed.
So, destroy?
Cal asked. Clearly the conversation was giving his two brain cells a serious workout.
No, Zeth said regretfully. If he is the son of Zeus, he could be the one we've been watching for.
Watching for? Leo asked. You mean like in a good way? You'll shower him with fabulous prizes? Or watching for like in a bad way? You know, he's in trouble? A girl's voice said, That depends on my father's will. Leo looked up the staircase. His heart nearly dropped. At the top stood a girl in a white silk dress. Her skin was unnaturally pale, the color of snow, but her hair was a lush mane of black, and her eyes were coffee brown. She focused on Leo with no expression, no smile, no friendliness. But it didn't matter. Leo was in love. She was the most dazzling girl he'd ever seen. Then she looked at Jason and Piper and seemed to understand the situation immediately. Father will want to see the one called Jason, the girl said.
Then it is him,
Zeth asked excitedly. We'll see, the girl said. Zeths, bring our guests. Leo grabbed the handle of his bronze dragon suitcase. He wasn't sure how he'd lug it up the stairs, but he had to get next to that girl and ask her some important questions, like her email address and her phone number. Before he could take a step, she froze him with a look. Not literally froze, but she might as well have.
Not you, Leo Valdez.
In the back of his mind, Leo wondered how she knew his name. But mostly, he was just concentrating on how crushed he felt.
Why not? Why not?
He probably sounded like a whiny kindergartner, but he couldn't help it.
You cannot be in the presence of my father, the girl said. Fire and ice. 'Twould not be wise.
We're going together, Jason insisted, putting his hand on Leo's shoulder. Or not at all. Or not at all. The girl tilted her head, like she wasn't used to people refusing her orders.
You will not be harmed, Jason Grace. Unless you make trouble. Eh? Calais. Keep Leo Valdez here. Guard him, eh? But do not kill him.
Cal pouted.
Just a little.
No, the girl insisted.
No, the girl insisted. And take care of his interesting suitcase until father passes judgment, eh?
Jason and Piper looked at Leo, their expression asking him a silent question. Sorry, I got a question. I think I can make her Canadian. I think I can give her a Canadian accent. I've been kind of going all over the place with with her accent there, but do you guys like Canadian? I'm just trying to think about how the heck do I make a Canadian accent sound cold and authoritative. I only know like the stereotypical kind. Heck yeah, we love Canada. Jason and Piper looked at Leo, their expressions asking him a silent question. How do you want to play this? Leo felt a surge of gratitude. They were ready to fight for him. They wouldn't leave him alone with the hockey ox. Part of him wanted to go for it. Bust out his new tool belt and see what he could do. Maybe even summon a fireball or two and warm this place up. But the Boreat guys scared him. And that gorgeous girl scared him even more. Even if he still wanted her number.
It's fine, guys, he said. No sense causing trouble if we don't have to. You go ahead. Listen to your friend, the pale girl said. Leo Valdez will be perfectly safe, eh? We'll be perfectly safe, eh? We'll be perfectly safe, eh? I wish I could say the same for you, son of Zeus. Now come. King Boreas is waiting, huh?
The chats are slow. I don't know. It might be a delay issue. I have it set to create as little latency as possible, but at least on my end. But I don't know about your guys' side. Dude, I freaking love what's his face? I love the two brothers. Ziths and Cal. Have I been saying that wrong? I felt a bit of anxiety throughout that, feeling like I might be saying Ziths wrong. Like maybe it's Zithes or Zeths or Zethes, Zethus. Hello, too. You're lagging? I hear that, man. Well, hey, don't worry about it. Yeah, I don't know how to say it either. I think Zeths or Zeths. Zethus. I feel like it's Zethus. Zethus. Trying to just, I just want to find out which one sounds best to me, you know? Zeths or Zethus? Zeths. Zethus. Zeth or Zethus. I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent about that one. Could go either way. Since I've been calling him Zeths, I'll stick to that for now. Shoot, guys. Can you hear the dogs barking? Can you hear the dogs? Nix. Boss. This is a chill stream. Quiet your barking, please. In Greek, it's Zethes. Zethes. I don't know about anglicized. It is Greek. It's meant to be Greek. Zethes. Or Zethes. Dang, I was real far off. Can't really hear any dogs? Nice. Good. This is good. Oh man. My tea has gone lukewarm. Tears. I cry. I decided to go the normal mug route. Anytime I do that, I get like a few good sips in when it's hot, but then the rest, I end up drinking lukewarm tea. Which, don't get me wrong, still tasty, still pleasant. Just not nearly as good as, the real deal. The piping hot stuff. Well, alright, guys. I think since we have 4 chapters tonight, and this next chapter's real short, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the next chapter. We'll take a break after this one. Zetes. Zetes? 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 Like Zetes? Zeets. Zeets. Dude, what in the world? What in the world? What in the what? My brain is hurting. You know, I've had to pronounce a fair amount of Greek terminology throughout like these Percy Jackson books. And I think Zetes, or Zeets, or Zethes, however you say his name, is one of the toughest I've come across thus far. Bleh. Whew. Okay. So, 19. Jason. Jason didn't want to leave Leo, but he was starting to think that hanging out with Cal the hockey jock might be the least dangerous option in this place. As they climbed the icy staircase, Zethes stayed behind them, his blade drawn. The guy might have looked like a Disco-era reject, but there was nothing funny about his sword. Jason figured one hit from that thing would probably turn him into a popsicle. Then there was the Ice Princess. Every once in a while she'd turn and give Jason a smile, but there was no warmth in her expression. She regarded Jason like he was an especially interesting science specimen, one she couldn't wait to dissect. If these were Boreas's kids, Jason wasn't sure he wanted to meet Daddy. Annabeth had told him Boreas was the friendliest of the wind gods. Apparently that meant he didn't kill heroes quite as fast as the others did. Jason worried that he'd led his friends into a trap. If things went bad, he wasn't sure he could get them out alive. Without thinking about it, he took Piper's hand for reassurance. She raised her eyebrows, but she didn't let go. "It'll be fine," she promised. "Just a talk, right?" At the top of the stairs, the Ice Princess looked back and noticed them holding hands. Her smile faded. Suddenly, Jason's hand in Piper's turned ice cold, burning cold. He let go, and his fingers were smoking with frost. So were Piper's. "Oh. Warmth isn't a good idea here," the princess advised. "Especially when I am your best chance of staying alive, eh? Please, this way." Piper gave him a nervous frown, like, what was that about? "Warmth is not a good idea here," the princess advised. "Especially when I am your best chance of staying alive. Please, this way." Piper gave him a nervous frown, like, what was that about? Jason didn't have an answer. Zethes poked him in the back with his icicle sword, and they followed the princess down a massive hallway decked in frosty tapestries. Freezing winds blew back and forth, and Jason's thoughts moved almost as fast. He'd had a lot of time to think while they rode the dragon north, but he felt as confused as ever. Dahlia's picture was still in his pocket, though he didn't need to look at it anymore. Her image had burned itself into his mind. It was bad enough not remembering his past, but to know he had a sister out there somewhere who might have answers and to have no way of finding her, that just drove him up the wall. In the picture, Dahlia looked nothing like him. They both had blue eyes, but that was it. Her hair was black. Her complexion was more Mediterranean. Her facial features were sharper, like a hawk's. Still, Thalia looked so familiar. Era had left him just enough memory that he could be certain Thalia was his sister. But Annabeth had acted completely surprised when he'd told her, like she'd never heard of Thalia's having a brother. Did Thalia even know about him? How had they been separated? Era had taken those memories. She'd stolen everything from Jason's past, clapped him into a new life, and now she expected him to save her from some prison, just so he could get back what she'd taken. It made Jason so angry. He wanted to walk away, let Era rot in that cage. But he couldn't. He was hooked. He had to know more, and that made him even more resentful. Hey, Piper touched his arm. You still with me? Yeah. Yeah, sorry. He was grateful for Piper. He needed a friend. He was glad she'd started losing the Aphrodite blessing. The makeup was fading. Her hair was slowly going back to its old, choppy style, with the little braids down the sides. It made her look more real. And as far as Jason was concerned, more beautiful. He was sure now that they'd never known each other before the Grand Canyon. Their relationship was just a trick of the mist in Piper's mind. But the longer he spent with her, the more he wished it had been real. Stop that, he told himself. It wasn't fair to Piper, thinking that way. Jason had no idea what was waiting for him back in his old life, or who might be waiting. But he was pretty sure his past wouldn't mix with Camp Half-Blood. After this quest, who knew what would happen? Assuming they even survived. At the end of the hallway, they found themselves in front of a set of oaken doors carved with a map of the world. In each corner was a man's bearded face, blowing wind. Jason was pretty sure he'd seen maps like this before. But in this version, all the wind guys were winter, blowing ice and snow from every corner of the world. Keaton, dude, what's up, man? I was caught up and ready to listen, but I didn't get the memo, so it looks like I'm gonna have to listen after the fact again. Shoot, wait, did I forget to send it in the Discord? I did. Dang, this is the first time that's happened in a while. One sec, guys. Okay, I actually don't have the link for it, like, on hand, so I put something in the Discord real quick. Shoot, Keaton, that's entirely my bad. I'm sorry about that. But boy, they're great to listen to while I work. Heck yeah, man. I'm a dip because I don't really want to spoil the bits I missed, but have a mighty merry stream. Heck yeah, man. I appreciate that, Keaton. And, psst, hey, this is for future Keaton, working tomorrow. Hey, I see you there working, doing that thing you do. And look at you doing it. Man, doing a great job. And I'm proud of you. And I think that if you set your mind to it, you can get even more done today than you did yesterday. And you can do better than before. So do your best. This is a message from past Mary Mitch. And I pray your day is freaking fabulous, awesome, splendiferous, cool, super cool, and marvelous. Heck yeah, Keaton, I thought you were gone. That message was only for future Keaton. How dare you listen to it now, you goon. You hooligan. Oh, heck yeah. Alright. Now, back to the reading. The princess turned. Her brown eyes glittered, and Jason felt like he was a Christmas present she was hoping to open. And Jason felt like he was a Christmas present she was hoping to open. This is the throne room, she said. Be on your best behavior, Jason Grace. Eh? My father can be, chilly. I would translate for you and try to encourage him to hear you out. I do hope he spares you. We could have such fun. Jason guessed this girl's definition of fun was not the same as his. Okay, he managed. But really, we're just here for a little talk. We'll be leaving right afterwards. The girl smiled. I love heroes. I love heroes. So blissfully ignorant. Piper rested her hand on her dagger. Well, how about you enlighten us? You say you're going to translate for us, and we don't even know who you are. What's your name? The girl sniffed with distaste. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised you don't recognize me, eh? Even in the ancient times, the Greeks did not know me well. Their island homes were too warm, too far from my domain. I am Chione, daughter of Boreas, goddess of snow. She stirred the air with her finger, and a miniature blizzard swirled around her. Big, fluffy flakes, as soft as cotton. Now come, Chione said. The oaken doors blew open, and cold blue light spilled out of the room. Hopefully, you will survive your little talk. Chione. I forget. I think Chione has like a bigger part to play in the story. At least if I remember correctly. I don't remember exactly what that is, but I think Ione is important in some way. So I don't know. Well, at least, hey, that'll give me more time to develop her voice. Figure out what I want to do with her voice. Because it's kind of going in between, like, Swedish and Canadian. I'm thinking Swedish would probably be better. But then again, I genuinely don't know all the intricacies of a Swedish accent, if that makes sense. I don't know. It'll improve as I go, I imagine. Hey, don't worry, Keaton. Don't worry. I wasn't actually mad at you. Okay, guys. It's time for a merry break. Heck yeah. When we return, we will find out what did Kione mean when she said she might be the only way that they're gonna get out of here alive. What'll happen when Jason and Piper approach Boreas, the god of the North Wind? Will they get the information they desire? Will this sense of danger come to light and turn out as true? Will Boreas prove merciful, I suppose? And with our heroes separated, if something does go wrong, how do they get back together? And how do they escape? If something goes wrong. We'll find out real soon. During this break, stand up. That's right. Stand, rise from your chair, and stretch a little bit. You know, take a walk down the hall, grab a drink of water, maybe do a little dance, make a little love, and get down tonight. Grab any kind of snacks and, I don't know, blankets or anything to get yourself situated. We'll have about 10 minutes here to relax. I'll be playing some nice jams by yours truly. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. It's about 11:31 where I'm at, so we will be back no later than 42 past the hour. Alright, cool beans. Love you guys a whole lot, and I hope to see you when I return. Be right back.
The boredom latches onto me. It is daylight, 81 degrees. I should be outside, enjoying the breeze. But Just come play with me. Ignoring reality. I said it's only a dream. It's only a dream. I wish you could somehow complete me. I will give it to you all now, but I kinda lost my key. I've been eyeing, but I kinda lost my dream. I've been eyeing, but I kinda lost my dream. Well, this medication's strong enough for you to know. Guess you always have to try before you know. You say come here, love. Well, it'll be fine. Just talk to me. Knowing reality, it's only a dream.
Years later.
When worlds collide, you can run.
12 seconds
When
later.
worlds collide, you'll laugh so hard, you'll swear you died. When worlds collide, hold my hand, I'll be your guide. When worlds collide, buckle up for the tweet, it's right. And prepare to have your mind blown wide. When worlds collide, when worlds collide.
Meanwhile,
When worlds collide, it's a curious thing. Bet you never heard a robot and a caveman sing. In his metal chest are some working parts. How is that different from my beat in art?
later.
I'm from the future,
And I'm from the past.
but that don't mean this friendship wasn't built to last.
It was made in a lab and I was born in a cave. So let me hear you howling for this inter-alien raid.
Buckle up for this. We did right.
Who can I?
When worlds collide. Buckle up for this. We did right.
Who can I?
You can run.
But who can I?
When worlds collide.
Later, in the void.
He's not here. No more SpongeBob. No more. I may finally have found a place where I can be all
when worlds collide.
Loser.
What follows is a brief
Don't worry, buddy. You're doing fine.
Hello. Good morning, Ava. No heck. I'm glad you were able to doze off there for a bit. I get that whole, I don't know, whenever I fall asleep when I don't mean to, it definitely leaves me disoriented when I wake up. But that's okay. Welcome back to the world of the aware. And welcome back, everybody, to Bedtime Stories. I'm just pleased to be here. I had a good break. Even better than good. Splendid break. I stretched out a bit. I did a handstand. You know, got a different perspective of my room for a bit there. It's a good thing. And now, I'm ready to find out what happens in this talk with the god of the north wind. What about you guys? Glad to hear it. Now, whenever I hear naught but crickets in the chat, I go ahead and get on with the reading. So, get comfy, get cozy, and get ready for these last two chapters. Oh, you're working right now. Well, snap. Go, P-Dubs, go. I believe in you. You can do this. You got this, P-Dubs. What drink did you make? Sorry, I won't distract you from the work for long. It's like 11 p.m., but, deadlines and such. Old-fashioned. I like it. Honestly, I feel a little bad because I only have a guess at what that entails. I don't even feel comfortable guessing at what that is. I don't know. That's a adult drink though, right? I gotta admit, I do not know my alcohol. Bourbon with bitters and sugar / simple syrup. Nice. And I'm assuming, well, heck, none of my business. I won't even ask. I was gonna ask if, I'm assuming you're old enough to be drinking that, but honestly, like I said, that's none of my business. You enjoy yourself, P-dubs. I was doing psychology homework earlier. Nice. All done now, though? Oh, yeah, I am. Good. Good stuff. Psychology. It's an interesting subject. No, you didn't finish. Ava. Well, so long as it's not due tomorrow, I guess you're in luck. That stuff got boring fast. Maybe there's a way to spice it up. Who knows? Due tomorrow? Due tomorrow. Shoot, dude. That's clever. Clever as always, P-dubs. Alright, so this is The Lost Hero by Rick Riordan. 20. Jason. If the entry hall had been cold, the throne room was like a meat locker. Mist hung in the air. Jason shivered, and his breath steamed. Along the walls, purple tapestries showed scenes of snowy forests, barren mountains, and glaciers. High above, ribbons of colored light, the aurora borealis, pulsed along the ceiling. A layer of snow covered the floor, so Jason had to step carefully. All around the room stood life-size ice sculpture warriors, some in Greek armor, some medieval, some in modern camouflage, all frozen in various attack positions, swords raised, guns locked and loaded. At least, Jason thought they were sculptures. Then he tried to step between two Greek spearmen, and they moved with surprising speed, their joints cracking and spraying ice crystals as they crossed their javelins to block Jason's path. From the far end of the hall, a man's voice rang out in a language that sounded like French. The room was so long and misty, Jason couldn't see the other end. But whatever the man said, the ice guards uncrossed their javelins. "It is fine. It's fine," Keone said. "My father has ordered them not to kill you just yet." Super, Jason said. Zethys prodded him in the back with his sword. "Keep moving, Jason Jr. Jason Jr. Please don't call me that. My father is not a patient man," Zethys warned, "and the beautiful Piper, sadly, is losing her magic hairdo very fast. Later, perhaps, I can lend her something from my wide assortment of hair products. Oui? Oui? Thanks," Piper grumbled. They kept walking, and the mist parted to reveal a man on an ice throne. He was sturdily built, dressed in a stylish white suit, that seemed woven from snow, with dark purple wings that spread out to either side. His long hair and shaggy beard were encrusted with icicles, so Jason couldn't tell if his hair was gray or just white with frost. His arched eyebrows made him look angry, but his eyes twinkled more warmly than his daughter's, as if he might have a sense of humor buried somewhere under that permafrost. Buried somewhere under that permafrost. Jason hoped so. Bienvenue, said the king. Je suis Boreas Leroy. Et vous? Et vous? Kione, the snow goddess, was about to speak, but Piper stepped forward and curtsied. Vorte, Majesté, Majesté, she said. Je suis Piper McLean. Et c'est Jason, fils de Zeus. The king smiled with pleasant surprise. Vous parlez français? Très bien. Vous parlez français? Française. Vous parlez français? Très bien. Très bien. Piper, you speak French? Jason asked. Piper frowned. No. Why? You just spoke French. Piper blinked. I did? The king said something else, and Piper nodded. Oui, Votre Majesté. The king laughed and clapped his hands, obviously delighted. He said a few more sentences, then swept his hand toward his daughter, as if shooing her away. Kione looked miffed. The king says... He says I'm a daughter of Aphrodite, Piper interrupted. So naturally, I can speak French, which is the language of love. I had no idea. His Majesty says Kione won't have to translate now. Behind them, Zethys snorted, and Kione shot him a murderous look. She bowed stiffly to her father and took a step back. The king sized up Jason, and Jason decided it would be a good idea to bow. Your Majesty, I'm Jason Grace. Thank you for, not killing us. May I ask, why does a Greek god speak French? Piper had another exchange with the king. He speaks the language of his host country, Piper translated. He says all gods do this. Most Greek gods speak English, as they now reside in the United States. But Boreas was never welcomed in their realm. His domain was always far to the north. These days he likes Quebec, so he speaks French. The king said something else, and Piper turned pale. The king says... She faltered. He says... Oh, allow me, Kione said. My father says he has orders to kill you. Did I not mention that earlier? Jason tensed. The king was still smiling amiably, like he just delivered great news. Kill us, Jason said. Why? Because, the king said, in heavily accented English. My lord
Aeolus has commanded it.
Boreas rose. He stepped down from his throne and furled his wings against his back. As he approached, Chione and Zethys bowed. Jason and Piper followed their example.
I shall deign to speak your language, language,
Boreas said.
as Piper McLean has honored me in mine. Toujours, I have a fondness for the children of Aphrodite. As for you, Jason Grace, my master, Aeolus, would not expect me to kill a son of Lord Zeus without first hearing you out.
Jason's gold coins seemed to grow heavier in his pocket. If he were forced to fight, he didn't like his chances. 2 seconds at least to summon his blade, then he'd be facing a god. 2 of his children, and an army of freeze-dried warriors. Aeolus is the master of winds, right? Jason asked. Why would he want us dead? Why would he want us dead?
You are demigods,
Boreas said, as if this explained everything.
Aeolus's job is to contain the winds, and demigods have always caused him many headaches. They ask him for favors. They unleash winds and cause chaos. But the final insult, they unleash winds. Oh, but the final insult was the battle with Typhon last summer.
Boreas waved his hand, and a sheet of ice like a flat-screen TV appeared in the air. Images of a battle flickered across the surface. A giant wrapped in storm clouds, wading across a river toward the Manhattan skyline. Tiny, glowing figures, the gods, Jason guessed, swarmed around him like angry wasps, pounding the monster with lightning and fire. Finally, the river erupted in a massive whirlpool, and the smoky form sank beneath the waves and disappeared.
The storm giant, Typhon,
Boreas explained.
The first time the gods defeated him, eons ago. He did not die quietly. His death released a host of storm spirits, wild winds that answered to no one. It was Aeolus's job to track them down and imprison them in his fortress. The other gods, they did not help. They did not help. They did not even apologize for the inconvenience. It took Aeolus centuries to track down all the storm spirits. And naturally, this irritated him. Then, last summer, Typhon was defeated again.
And his death released another wave of Venti, Jason guessed, which made Aeolus even angrier.
C'est vrai,
Boreas agreed.
But, Your Majesty, Piper said, the gods had no choice but to battle Typhon. He was going to destroy Olympus. Besides, why punish demigods for that?
The king shrugged. Aeolus cannot take out his anger on the gods. They are his bosses and very powerful. So, he gets even with the demigods who helped them in the war. He issued orders to us. Demigods who come to us for aid are no longer to be tolerated. We are to crush your little mortal faces. Your little mortal faces.
There was an uncomfortable silence. That sounds extreme, Jason ventured. But you're not going to crush our faces yet, right? You're going to listen to us first, because once you hear about our quest...
Yes, the king agreed. You see, Aeolus also said that a son of Zeus might seek my aid, and if this happens, I should listen to you before destroying you. As you might, how did he put it, make our lives very interesting. I am only obligated to listen, however. After that, I am free to pass judgment as I see fit. But I will listen first. Chione wishes this also. It may be that we will not kill you.
Jason felt like he could almost breathe again. Great. Thanks.
Do not thank me. Boreas smiled. There are many ways you could make our lives interesting. Sometimes we keep demigods for our amusement, as you can see.
He gestured around the room to the various ice statues. Piper made a strangled noise.
You mean... they're all demigods? Frozen demigods? They're alive?
An interesting question.
Boreas conceded, as if it had never occurred to him before.
They do not move unless they are obeying my orders. The rest of the time, they are merely frozen. Unless they were to melt, I suppose. Which would be very messy. Ugh.
Chione stepped behind Jason and put her cold fingers on his neck.
My father gives me such lovely presents,
she murmured in his ear.
Join our court. Perhaps I'll let your friends go.
What? The Zethys broke in.
What?
Zethys broke in. If Chione gets this one, then I deserve the girl. Chione always gets more presents. No, children. Boreas said sternly. Our guests will think you are spoiled. Besides, you moved too fast. We have not even heard the demigod's story yet. Then we will decide what to do with them. Please, Jason Grace, entertain us.
Jason felt his brain shutting down. He didn't look at Piper, for fear he'd completely lose it. He'd gotten them into this, and now they were going to die. Or worse, they'd be amusement for Boreas's children and end up frozen forever in this throne room, slowly corroding from freezer burn. Keone purred and stroked his neck. Jason didn't plan it, but electricity sparked along his skin. There was a loud, and Keone flew backward. Oh, probably not a, but a pop! And Keone flew backwards, skidding across the floor. Zethys laughed. That is good. I'm glad you did that. Even though I have to kill you now. For a moment, Keone was too stunned to react. Then the air around her began to swirl with a micro blizzard. You dare! Stop, Jason ordered. Stop, Jason ordered, with as much force as he could muster. You're not going to kill us. And you're not going to keep us. We're on a quest for the Queen of the Gods herself. So unless you want Era busting down your doors, you're going to let us go. He sounded a lot more confident than he felt. But it got their attention. Keone's blizzard swirled to a stop. Zethys lowered his sword. They both looked uncertainly at their father. Boreas said. His eyes twinkled, but Jason couldn't tell if it was with anger or amusement. A son of Zeus, favored by Hera. This is definitely a first. Tell us your story. Jason would have botched it right there. He hadn't been expecting to get the chance to talk, and now that he could, his voice abandoned him. Piper saved him. Your Majesty? She curtsied again with incredible poise, considering her life was on the line. She told Boreas the whole story. From the Grand Canyon to the prophecy, much better and faster than Jason could have. All we ask for is guidance, Piper concluded. These storm spirits attacked us, and they're working for some evil mistress. If we find them, maybe we can find Era. The king stroked the icicles in his beard. Out the windows, night had fallen, and the only light came from the aurora borealis overhead, washing everything in red and blue. I know of these storm spirits, Boreas said. I know where they are kept, and of the prisoner they took. You mean Coach Edge? Jason asked. He's alive? Boreas waved aside the question. For now. For now. But the one who controls these storm spirits, it would be madness to oppose her. You would be better staying here as frozen statues. Era's in trouble, Jason said. In 3 days she's going to be, I don't know, consumed, destroyed, something. And a giant is going to rise. Yes, Boreas agreed. Was it Jason's imagination, Or did he shoot Keone an angry look?
Many horrible things are awakening. Awakening. Even my children do not tell me all the news they should. The great stirring of monsters that began with Kronos. Your father, Zeus, foolishly believed it would end when the Titans were defeated. But just as it was before, so it is now. The final battle is yet to come, and the one who will wake is more terrible than any Titan. Storm spirits, these are only beginning. The earth has many more hours to yield up. When monsters no longer stay in Tartarus, and souls are no longer confided to Hades, Olympus has good reason to fear.
Jason wasn't sure what all this meant, but he didn't like the way Keone was smiling. Like this was her definition of fun. "So, you'll help us?" Jason asked the king. Boreas scowled.
I did not say this. I did not say this.
"Please, Your Majesty?"
Piper said. Everyone's eyes turned towards her. She had to be scared out of her mind, but she looked beautiful and confident.
"Please, Your Majesty. Please, Your Majesty."
And it had nothing to do with the blessing of Aphrodite. She looked herself again, in day-old traveling clothes, with choppy hair and no makeup, but she almost glowed with warmth in that cold throne room.
"If you tell us where the storm spirits are, we can capture them and bring them to Aeolus. You look good in front of your boss. Aeolus might pardon us and the other demigods. We could even rescue Gleason Hedge. Everyone wins."
She is pretty. She is pretty. Zethys mumbled. I mean, she's right.
"Father, don't listen to her,"
Keone said.
"She's a child of Aphrodite. She dares to charm speak a god."
"Freeze her now!"
Boreas considered this. Jason slipped his hand into his pocket and got ready to bring out the gold coin. If things went wrong, he'd have to move fast. The movement caught Boreas's eye.
"What is that on your forearm, demigod?"
Jason hadn't realized his coat sleeve had gotten pushed up, revealing the edge of his tattoo. Reluctantly, he showed Boreas his marks. The god's eyes widened. Keone actually hissed and stepped away. Then Boreas did something unexpected. He laughed so loudly, an icicle cracked from the ceiling and crashed next to his throne. The god's form began to flicker. His beard disappeared. He grew taller and thinner, and his clothes changed into a Roman toga lined with purple. His head was crowned with a frosty laurel wreath and a gladius. A Roman sword like Jason's hung at his side. "Aquilon, Aquilon," Jason said. though where he got the god's Roman name from, he had no idea. The god inclined his head.
You recognize me better in this form, oui? And yet you said you came from Camp Half-Blood? Camp Half-Blood?
Jason shifted his feet. Yes, Your Majesty.
And Era sent you here. And Era sent you there.
The winter god's eyes were full of mirth.
I understand now. Oh, she plays a dangerous game. Bold, but dangerous. No wonder Olympus is closed. No wonder Olympus is closed. They must be trembling at the gamble she has taken.
Jason,
Piper said nervously.
why did Boreas change shape? The toga, the wreath, what's going on?
It's his Roman form, Jason said. But what's going on? I don't know. The god laughed.
No, I'm sure you don't. This should be very interesting to watch.
Does that mean you'll let us go?
Piper asked.
My dear, Boreas said, there is no reason for me to kill you. If our plan fails, which I think it will, you will tear each other apart. Aeolus will never have to worry about demigods again.
Jason felt as if Keone's cold fingers were on his neck again. But it wasn't her. It was just the feeling that Boreas was right. That sense of wrongness which had bothered Jason since he got to Camp Half-Blood, and Chiron's comment about his arrival being disastrous. Boreas knew what they meant. I don't suppose you could explain, Jason asked.
Oh, perish the thought. It is not for me to interfere in Era's plan. No wonder she took your memory.
Boreas chuckled, apparently still having a great time imagining demigods tearing each other apart.
You know, I have a reputation as a helpful wind god. Unlike my brethren, I've been known to fall in love with mortals. Why, my son Zethys, and Calais started as demigods. Which explains why they are idiots,
Keone growled.
Stop it! Zethys snapped back. Just because you were born a full goddess. Both of you, freeze. Freeze. Freeze,
Boreas ordered. Apparently that word carried a lot of weight in the household, because the two siblings went absolutely still. Hey, what's up, Amazing Gluck? Oh, Amazing amazing luck. My bad. Sorry. I read that as amazing luck for some reason. Funny stuff. Hope you're having a good night, man. Or gal, or anything in between. Dude. And I hope you enjoy the reading.
Now, as I was saying, I have a good reputation, but it is rare that Boreas plays an important role in the affairs of gods. I sit here in my palace at the age of civilization, and so rarely have amusements. Why, even that fool notice the south wind gets spring break in Cancun. What do I get? A winter festival with naked Quebecois. Quebecoi rolling around in the snow. I like the winter festival, Zethus muttered. My point, Boreas snapped, is that I now have a chance to be the center. Oh yes, I will let you go on this quest. You will find your storm spirits in the windy city of cars. Chicago. Chicago.
Father!
Keone protested. Boreas ignored his daughter.
If you can capture the winds, you may be able to gain safe entrance to the court of Aeolus. If by some miracle you succeed, be sure to tell him you captured the winds on my orders. On my orders.
Okay, sure, Jason said. So Chicago is where we'll find this lady who's controlling the winds? She's the one who's trapped Era? Boreas grinned.
Those are two different questions, son of Jupiter.
Jupiter, Jason noticed. Before, he called me son of Zeus.
The one who controls the winds,
Boreas continued.
yes. You will find her in Chicago, but she is only a servant who is very likely to destroy you. If you succeed against her and take the winds, then you may go to Aeolus. Only he has knowledge of all the winds on the earth. All secrets come to his fortress eventually. If anyone can tell you where Ara is imprisoned, it is Aeolus. As for who you will meet when you finally find Ara's cage, truly, if I told you that, you would beg me to freeze you.
Father! Keone protested. You can't simply let them. You can't simply let them.
I can do what I like, he said. I can do what I like, he said, his voice hardening. I am still master here. Am I not? Am I not?
The way Boreas glared at his daughter, it was obvious they had some ongoing argument. Keone's eyes flashed with anger.
but she clenched her teeth. As you wish, father. Now go, demigods. Now go, demigods, Boreas said, before I change my mind. Before I change my mind. Zithis, escort them out safely. 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 They all bowed, and the god of the north wind dissolved into mist. Back in the entry hall, Cal and Leo were waiting for them. Leo looked cold, but unharmed. He'd even gotten cleaned up, and his clothes looked newly washed, like he'd used the hotel's valet service. Festus the dragon was back in normal form, snorting fire over his scales to keep himself defrosted. As Keone led them down the stairs, Jason noticed that Leo's eyes followed her. Leo started combing his hair back with his hands. Uh-oh, Jason thought. He made a mental note to warn Leo about the snow goddess later. She was not someone to get a crush on. At the bottom step, Keone turned to Piper. You have fooled my father, girl. But you have not fooled me. We are not done. And you, Jason Grace. I will see you as a statue in the throne room soon enough. I will see you as a statue in the throne room soon enough. Soon enough. Soon enough. I'm going to try that one more time. And you, Jason Grace, I will see you as a statue in the throne room soon enough. Soon enough. Boreas is right, Jason said. You're a spoiled kid. See you around, Ice Princess. Keone's eyes flared pure white. For once, she seemed at a loss for words. She stormed back up the stairs. Literally, halfway up she turned into a blizzard and disappeared. Be careful, Zethys warned. She never forgets an insult. Cal grunted in agreement.
Bad sister. Bad sister.
She's the goddess of snow, Jason said. What's she going to do? Throw snowballs at us? What's she gonna do? Throw snowballs at us? But as he said it, Jason had a feeling Keone could do a whole lot worse. Leo looked devastated.
What happened up there? You made her mad? Is she mad at me too? Guys, that was my prom date.
We'll explain later, Piper promised. But when she glanced at Jason, he realized she expected him to explain. What had happened up there? Jason wasn't sure. Boreas had turned into Aquilon, his Roman form, as if Jason's presence caused him to go schizophrenic. The idea that Jason had been sent to Camp Half-Blood seemed to amuse the god. But Boreas/Aquilon hadn't let them go out of kindness. Cruel excitement had danced in his eyes, as if he'd just placed a bet on a dogfight.
You will tear each other apart,
he said with delight.
Aeolus will never have to worry about demigods again.
Jason looked away from Piper, trying not to show how unnerved he was. Yeah, he agreed. We'll explain later.
Be careful, pretty girl,
Zethys said.
The winds between here and Chicago are bad-tempered. Many other evil things are stirring. I am sorry you will not be staying. You would make a lovely ice statue in which I could check my reflection. Ooh. Oui, oui.
Thanks, Piper said, but I'd sooner play hockey with Cal.
Hockey?
Cal's eyes lit up.
Joking, Piper said. And the storm winds aren't our worst problems, are they?
No.
Zethys agreed.
Something else. Something worse.
Worse. Worse.
Cal echoed.
Can you tell me? Can you tell me?
Piper gave them a smile. This time, the charm didn't work. The purple-winged boreads shook their heads in unison. The hangar doors opened onto a freezing starry night, and Festus the dragon stomped his feet, anxious to fly.
Ask Aeolus what is worse.
Ask Aeolus what is worse, Zethys said darkly.
He knows. Good luck.
Good luck. He almost sounded like he cared what happened to them, even though a few minutes ago he'd wanted to make Piper into an ice sculpture. Cal patted Leo on the shoulder.
Don't get destroyed,
he said, which was probably the longest sentence he'd ever attempted.
Next time... Hockey. Pizza.
Come on, guys. Jason stared out at the dark. He was anxious to get out of that cold penthouse, but he had a feeling it was the most hospitable place they'd see for a while. Let's go to Chicago and try not to get destroyed. Oh, dude, I will say, these few chapters have, I think they've improved my French accent. Not even gonna lie. Because I find when I have to be more consistent with an accent, like if it comes up more and more, the easier it gets for me. It's when I don't see like a certain accent or I don't practice it for a time that it gets tough for me. Bets on Willis/Sears Tower or the Bean. Place your bets now. B-dubs. I actually don't remember, so I'm not sure if you're correct or not. But if you're as prolific as ever, then it's probably one of those. Let's see. That wasn't the last chapter, was it? Nice. We have this one. We have one more.
One more chapter later. One more chapter later. One excruciatingly long reading later. Or one enjoyably long reading later. Alright, guys. 21. Piper. Piper didn't relax until the glow of Quebec City faded behind them. Heck yeah. Dude, I'd forgotten about that. That was freaking sweet. How he changed from like this kind of brooding type of god to this mirth-filled, almost cruel version of himself. That was wicked. I agree, P-dubs. I'll talk more on that after this chapter. You were amazing, Jason told her. The compliment should have made her day, but all she could think about was the trouble ahead. Evil things are stirring. Zethys had warned them. She knew that firsthand. The closer they got to the solstice, the less time Piper had to make her decision. She told Jason in French,
If you knew the truth about me, you wouldn't think I was so amazing.
"What did you say?" he asked.
I said, I only talked to Boreas. It wasn't so amazing. It wasn't so amazing.
She didn't turn to look, but she imagined him smiling. "Hey," he said, "you saved me from joining Kione's Sub-Zero Hero Collection. I owe you one." That was definitely the easy part, she thought. There was no way Piper would have let that ice witch keep Jason. What bothered Piper more was the way Boreas had changed form, and why he'd let them go. It had something to do with Jason's past, those tattoos on his arm. Boreas assumed Jason was some sort of Roman, and Romans didn't mix with Greeks. She kept waiting for Jason to offer an explanation, but he clearly didn't want to talk about it. Until now, Piper had been able to dismiss Jason's feelings that he didn't belong at Camp Half-Blood. Obviously, he was a demigod. Of course he belonged. But now, what if he was something else? What if he really was an enemy? She couldn't stand that idea any more than she could stand Kione. Leo passed them some sandwiches from his pack. He'd been quiet ever since they'd told him what happened in the throne room.
Man, I still can't believe Kione, he said. She looks so nice.
"Trust me, man," Jason said. "Snow may be pretty, but up close, it's cold and nasty. We'll find you a better prom date." Piper smiled, but Leo didn't look pleased. He hadn't said much about his time in the palace, or why the Boreads had singled him out for smelling like fire. Piper got the feeling he was hiding something. Whatever it was, his mood seemed to be affecting Festus, who grumbled and steamed as he tried to keep himself warm in the cold Canadian air. Happy the Dragon was not so happy. They ate their sandwiches as they flew. Piper had no idea how Leo had stocked up on supplies. but he'd even remembered to bring veggie rations for her. The cheese and avocado sandwich was awesome. Nobody talked. Whatever they might find in Chicago, they all knew Boreas had only let them go because he figured they were already on a suicide mission. The moon rose, and stars turned overhead. Piper's eyes started to feel heavy. The encounter with Boreas and his children had scared her more than she wanted to admit. Now that she had a full stomach, her adrenaline was fading.
Suck it up, Cupcake!
Coach Edgewood yelled at her.
Don't be a wimp!
Piper had been thinking about the coach ever since Boreas mentioned he was still alive. She'd never liked Edge, but he'd leapt off a cliff to save Leo, and he'd sacrificed himself to protect them on the skywalk. She now realized that all the times at school the coach had pushed her, yelled at her to run faster, or do more push-ups, or even when he turned his back and let her fight her own battles with the mean girls, the old goat man had been trying to help her in his own irritating way, trying to prepare her for life as a demigod. You didn't do that, did you, P-Dubs? Or did you save them? Or did you send them off? Or is that just a general tip, not relating to anything you're doing? Saved. Nice. Good stuff. P-Dubs, Frick, you are smart. I don't know. I say that a lot, but I'm serious. You got some good insight. Some good awareness. On the skywalk, Dylan the Storm Spirit had said something about the coach too. How he'd been retired to wilderness school because he was getting too old, like it was some sort of punishment. Piper wondered what that was about, and if it explained why the coach was always so grumpy. Whatever the truth, now that Piper knew Hedge was alive, she had a strong compulsion to save him. Don't get ahead of yourself, she chided. You've got bigger problems. This trip won't have a happy ending. She was a traitor, just like Selena Beauregard. It was only a matter of time before her friends found out. She looked up at the stars and thought about a night long ago when she and her dad had camped out in front of Grandpa Tom's house. Grandpa Tom had died years before, but Dad had kept his house in Oklahoma because it was where he grew up. They'd gone back for a few days, with the idea of getting the place fixed up to sell, although Piper wasn't sure who'd want to buy a run-down cabin with shutters instead of windows and 2 tiny rooms that smelled like cigars. The first night had been so stifling hot, no air conditioning in the middle of August, that Dad suggested they sleep outside. They'd spread their sleeping bags and listened to the cicadas buzzing in the trees. Piper pointed out the constellations she'd been reading about. Hercules, Apollo's lyre, Sagittarius, the centaur. Her dad crossed her arms behind his head. In his old t-shirt and jeans, he looked like just another guy from Tahlequah, Oklahoma. A Cherokee who might have never left tribal lands.
Your grandpa would say those Greek patterns are a bunch of bull. Huh. He told me the stars were centuries of... He told me the stars were creatures with glowing fur, like magic hedgehogs. Once, long ago, some hunters even captured a few in the forest. They didn't know what they'd done until nighttime, when the star creatures began to glow. Golden sparks flew from their fur, so the Cherokee released them back into the sky.
You believe in magic hedgehogs? Piper asked. Her dad laughed.
I think Grandpa Tom was full of bull. You know, just like the Greeks. But it's a big sky. I suppose there's room for Hercules and hedgehogs.
They sat for a while, until Piper got the nerve to ask a question that had been bugging her. Dad, why don't you ever play Native American parts?
The week before, he turned down several $1 million to play Tonto in a remake of The Lone Ranger. Piper was still trying to figure out why. He played all kinds of roles. A Latino teacher in a tough LA school, a dashing Israeli spy in an action-adventure blockbuster, even a Syrian terrorist in a James Bond movie. And of course, he would always be known as the King of Sparta. But if the part was Native American, it didn't matter what kind of role it was. Dad turned it down. He winked at her. Too close to home, Pipes. Easier to pretend I'm something I'm not.
Doesn't that get old? Aren't you ever tempted, like, if you found the perfect part that could change people's opinions?
If there's a part like that, Pipes, he said sadly, I haven't found it. I haven't found it. She looked at the stars, trying to imagine them as glowing hedgehogs. All she saw were the stick figures she knew. Hercules running across the sky, on his way to kill monsters. Dad was probably right. The Greeks and the Cherokee were equally crazy. The stars were just balls of fire.
Dad, she said, if you don't like being close to home, why are we sleeping in Grandpa Tom's yard?
His laughter echoed in the quiet Oklahoma night. I think you know me too well, Pipes.
Oh. If you don't like being close to home, why are we sleeping in Grandpa Tom's yard?
I think you know me too well, Pipes.
You're not really going to sell this place, are you?
Nope. I'm probably not. Piper blinked, shaking herself out of the memory. She realized she'd been falling asleep on the dragon's back. How could her dad pretend to be so many things he wasn't? She was trying to do that now, and it was tearing her apart. Maybe she could pretend for a little while longer. She could dream of finding a way to save her father without betraying her friends.
even if right now a happy ending seemed about as likely as magic hedgehogs. She leaned back against Jason's warm chest. He didn't complain. As soon as she closed her eyes, she drifted off to sleep. In her dream, she was back on the mountaintop. The ghostly purple bonfire cast shadows across the trees. Piper's eyes stung from the smoke, and the ground was so warm, the soles of her boots felt sticky. A voice from the dark rumbled. You forget your duty. Piper couldn't see him, but it was definitely her least favorite giant. The one who called himself Uncletus. She looked around for any sign of her father, but the pole where he'd been chained was no longer there.
"Where is he?" she demanded. "What have you done with him?"
The giant's laugh was like lava hissing down a volcano. His body is safe enough, though I fear the poor man's mind can't take much more of my company. For some reason, he finds me disturbing. You must hurry, girl, or I fear there will be little left of him to save.
"Let him go!" she screamed. "Take me instead. He's just a mortal."
But my dear, the giant rumbled, we must prove our love for our parents. That's what I'm doing. Show me you value your father's life by doing what I ask. Who's more important, your father or a deceitful goddess who used you? Toyed with your emotions, manipulated your memories, eh? What is error to you? Piper began to tremble. So much anger and fear boiled inside her, she could hardly talk.
"You're asking me to betray my friends."
Sadly, my dear, your friends are destined to die. Their quest is impossible. Even if you succeed, you heard the prophecy. Unleashing Error's rage would mean your destruction. The only question now, will you die with your friends or live with your father? The bonfire roared. Piper tried to step back, but her feet were heavy. She realized the ground was pulling her down, clinging to her boots like wet sand. When she looked up, a shower of purple sparks had spread across the sky, and the sun was rising in the east. A patchwork of cities glowed in the valley below, and far to the west, over a line of rolling hills, she saw a familiar landmark rising from a sea of fog.
Why are you showing me this?" Piper asked. "You're revealing where you are."
Yes. You know this place,
the giant said.
Lead your friends here instead of their true destination, and I will deal with them. And I will deal with them. Or even better, arrange their deaths before you arrive. I don't care which. Just be at the summit by noon on the solstice, and you may collect your father. And go in peace. And go in peace. And go in peace.
I can't,
Piper said.
You can't ask me
to betray that foolish boy Valdez, who always irritated you, and is now hiding secrets from you. To give up a boyfriend you never really had. Is that more important than your own father?
I'll find a way to defeat you, Piper said. I'll save my father and my friends.
The giant growled in the shadows.
I was once proud, too. I thought the gods could never defeat me. Then they hurled a mountain on top of me, crushed me into the ground, where I struggled for eons, half conscious in pain. That taught me patience, girl. It taught me not to act rashly. Now I've clawed my way back with the help of the waking earth. I am only the first. My brethren will follow. We will not be denied our vengeance. Not this time! And you, Piper McLean, need a lesson in humility. I'll show you how easily your rebellious spirit can be brought to Earth. Can be brought to Earth.
The dream dissolved, and Piper woke up screaming, free falling through the air.
Bum, bum, bow.
Piper's fallen. Piper is fallen. Guys, Piper is fallen.
Dude, wait, what? I couldn't have asked for a better cliffhanger. Piper is literally falling through the sky at the moment. Hey. Let's see. Hamalor. Thank you so much for the follow. I hope you enjoyed the readings tonight. Don't know how much you caught, but heck yeah, welcome. You have become a wildflower in the Merry Meadow. The Merry Mitch Meadow. And yeah, thank you for following. I hope you've been having a dandy time. Waking Earth. He's thrown any subtlety he had left out the window. Yeah, I'm surprised. Well, I don't know. I think this is really clever, right? That Piper is the only one given those clues, right? About, from that giant. From Uncletus. Yet she can't put it together. Or can she? And even if she could put it together, she won't be able to confide in her friends about it. Because they'd be like, yo, where'd you hear this? Hmm? And Piper would be like, you know, I heard it from my buddy, you know, my guy, my number one giant, on Cletus. You know the one. I don't know, I think it's clever that a lot of stuff is subtly revealed or unsubtly revealed through Piper, because she is technically a double agent at the moment. I just think that's like an excellent story device or plot device. Yet revealing stuff like utilizing moments of Piper's character development, you know? It's killer stuff. Killer stuff. Riordan, he never ceased to impress. Mm. Let's see. The other thing I wanted to talk about was Boreas's schizophrenic moment there, where he transforms into what was his name? Aeolus? No. Aloquus? Aliquis? I can find it. Give me a sec. Aquilon. How Boreas had transformed into Aquilon, his Roman form, taking on what seemed to be a crueler and more mirthful demeanor. Whereas before he seemed cold and standoffish. Still cruel, certainly, but cruel and cold, rather than cruel and joyful. Also, can I just say, that line about Happy the Dragon wasn't too happy. I don't know why, but that line tickled me. Though I don't know if it got anybody else, but that one got me. Also, I really appreciate the transition into Piper's dream there, because, you know, I appreciate that they kind of explained her process of, you know, how she wound up falling asleep. You know, her train of thought was really natural, where she begins by thinking, oh man, that whole situation with Boreas was way scarier than I was letting on. And then, you know, with admitting to that fear and a full stomach, she realizes the adrenaline's fading. I'm getting tired. Then that leads her to think of Coach Hedge. Then from Coach Hedge, she starts to think about, you know, the happy idea that, hey, she's still alive, like, he's still alive, and I want to save him. He had sacrificed himself for me. But then stopping herself saying you've got bigger problems. This trip won't end in a happy ending. And then it detours slightly to go on to her thinking about her talk with her dad that night. Yet it still relates back to to her issue and like the main problem that she's going through, which is having to be someone she's not, being forced into that role. Speaking of full stomachs, I could go for a snack. I don't know, man. It's pretty late. At least I know it's late where I'm at. And snacking, when it is of the late hours, although it's nice, it can be tasty, can satisfy that instant gratification itch, you know? It's not too healthy. Just keep that in mind. Be aware. Alright, guys. Well, I think I've said most of what I wanted to cover about these last couple of chapters. I try to be, man. I try to encourage, and you know, I half of the time say this stuff to myself, you know. It's good to remind myself of these things too. So I'm glad it can be a boon to us both. You know? But heck yeah. Alright. It's time for Book on Face. Book on Face. This has been Book on Face. Thank you for redeeming that, P-dubs. It was a nice, relaxing time for the end of the stream. And thanks for sticking around all the way to the end. I have a feeling maybe some of the other audience might have fallen asleep. That's a-okay. I pray they have sweet dreams. And we actually had some like relatively relaxing chapters. In the end, Parkin Bop. Parkin Bop. Welcome back, Parkin Bop. In the end, it never even mattered. I tried so hard and come so far. In the end. Heck yeah, dude. It never even mattered. Dude, how could I not? I'm glad to see you here, though. Did you just catch the end here? If so, let's say okay. And if so, how was your night, dude? What'd you wind up doing? I'm trying to think of any other lyrics in that song, though. Just chillaxing as the heat rises. As the heat rises? I don't like the summer. Yeah. Yeah, man. I find, the AC kind of turns on and off here, especially at night. So, like, I try to hit the hay, like, at the time when, like, the fan is going. Hey, what's up, May? Welcome back. Shoot. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I didn't expect you to pop in at the end, but I appreciate that. Always a pleasant surprise, May. But seriously, what are some other what are some of the other lyrics in that song? I try so hard and come so far. In the end, never even mattered. How does May even do this? That dude, that is what I want to know. Do you just like check in like every hour or something? How do you like pop in like precisely at the breaks and like right at the end? It's just your timing is impeccable. You managed to like dodge the spoilers, yet come in for like for those little tidbits for when we're just hanging. Hey, and I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. Yeah, that's it. I had to fall to lose it all. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. In the end, by Linkin Park. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. Alright. Right now, it was just a coincidence. But something I just come and see if you are on spoiler time. Nice. You got good luck with the timing. It's a meme up here, and it's a meme in English too, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you can put like a black and white filter. It's a meme everywhere. It's Linkin Park. I don't know. I was gonna try to like put a black and white overlay. I can do it at least for my webcam. Hang on. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Pow. Filters. Booyah. I tried so hard and come so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all. Booyah. Appropriate moodiness now. Now we're talking. Or what if we oversaturate it? Oh. I'm going supernova. I actually do like a little added saturation. Gives me like a an old-timey vibe. Ah, no. Not again. No. My bad. Black and white sad moment. Yes, indeed. Whoa, whoa. Labor Day. Are you doing something for that day, P-dubs? Oh, yeah. I think I'm gonna do a stream. It'd be fun to do something special. I don't look great as an Oompa Loompa? What are you talking about, dude? I am a beautiful Oompa Loompa. Yee. Me. Ah, oh no. Streamception for a hot minute there. Hang on, I need to get back to the filters. I need to not be an Oompa Loompa. Ah! I need to get out of these filters. I know, right? The orange teeth. Those are actually my real teeth. I wish I had orange teeth. That'd be so cool. I'd be like a... I don't know, I'd finally have swag. I'd finally have swagger. You can do something at your house, maybe just chill. That sounds rad, not gonna lie. Yeah, if I do stream, it won't be like for the whole day. So I'm hoping to maybe do something with some buds. We'll see. I don't know. Labor Day, I don't think I could do anything like related to Labor Day. I may just take the day off though. I don't know. You wish you had orange teeth too? Orange teeth are not swag. Orange teeth are not swag. And how dare you say as much? Check this out. I'm vanishing. Help. Ooh. Coming back. Oh wait, the hue shift is fun. Oh. No, I'm green. I'm green. I'm green. Now I'm blue. Dabble dee dabble die. I'm pink. Purple. Teal. Now we're talking. Get me out of this filter. Handsome green Hulk. Handsome Smurf. Purple was best. I agree. It at least fits like the theming. Weird though. I actually considered, I think when I was first starting up the channel, I considered having my like webcam always have that hue shift so that I would be like I would just be a purple man. I would just be a purple man, you know? and then on I guess on the spooky night I'd be like a red tinted man. And then on the space one I'd do green. Like greenish bluish. But I absolutely decided against it. Glad you came to your senses. Your senses. I'm glad too, P-dubs. I am glad too. Yeah, I don't... Yeah, I it's just very much unnecessary. But imagine being a green man. Just like the noise. Kermit. That's true. Why are there so many songs about rainbows? The lovers, dreamers, and me. All of us under the sun. Wow! Wow! Alright. So, guys, we've gotten to that point in the night where I'm starting to sing songs in a Kermit accent. I think it's about time I head on. But heck, this has been a real fun time. Park and Bop, I'm pleased to see that you popped in towards the end here. And heck yeah, we read 4 chapters today, guys. Some good stuff. Rodrigo for the wizard name. Ah, that's right. Coming up tomorrow. I forgot to like do do a poll of some kind or something like that. Was there anything in the Discord about that? Where do we do that? On reading requests. I'm gonna make another channel real quick. Little Wizard Man name suggestions. Okay, there is a Little Wizard Man name suggestions section in the Discord now. Submit them before the stream tomorrow, and if there's only one in there, you'll be assured that that is going to be his name. But if there's multiple there, I'll pick out my favorites. We'll do a poll on Friday and get this boy named. Sorry that was like last minute. I kind of forgot about that this week. I had some other stuff that was on my mind, like the interview and other stressful things. But hey, better late than never. Oh yeah. Rodrigo is a good name though, especially for a wizard. Heck. Yeah, I see Rodrigo. Ooh. I asked a friend for wizard names. That was their suggestion. Hey, it's a good suggestion. Yeah. She's the creative one. Heck yeah. I'll tell her I'm grateful. Indeed. Does she know? Does she know wizards? Is she a wizard? Or a wizardette? Wizardette? Wizard. No, wizard can be... What am I saying? Wizard can be boy or girl. Okay. Alright. Let's go ahead and wrap up this stream, guys. I'm getting sleepy. She's a writer, so close enough. Hey, sick. If she writes any sweet stories, please send them my way. Does she write, does she do writing for, like, a profession? Or do she do it as a hobby? Either one is super cool. Okay. Not yet, but she has the ambition. Right on. Yeah, don't forget how important sleeping is. Don't worry. I totally do forget that many times throughout the week. Well, I don't know. I forget about I purposely forget about how important it is to like go to bed at a good hour. I get enough sleep no matter what, but I forget about the importance of like going to bed, after the sun sets, shortly after the sun sets, and rising with the sun rising. It's a good thing. Alright, so hit me with that outro song, please. Next time on The Lost Hero, this coming Monday, we may just do Lost Hero for Labor Day, because I don't know, I may just be in the mood for that. But Monday or Tuesday, we have to wait a whole weekend. Piper is falling out of the sky. They're heading to Chicago to hopefully take down and capture, not just kill, but capture some Venti, some on the loose crazy storm spirits. wild, wild stuff. And apparently what's waiting for them there is not quite as bad as this so-called sleeping Earth, but is still something that at least Boreas believes could spell their doom. So we'll have to see. And will Leo ever reveal his powers, to his two friends? Will Piper truly find a way to save both her friends and her father? Will she have to sacrifice one for the other? And if she sacrifices one, what happens if she loses it all? We'll have to see. Sorry, those were I guess those were spoiler-ish things, but if you don't have context, it'd be a little hard to understand. Anywho, I'll see you guys next time. Hit me with that outro jingle, maestro. I love you guys, and it's as plain as that. I pray we take the merriment that we found tonight, joking it up with each other and reading through a beautiful story. A story with some rocky roads, some difficult choices, and all sorts of crazy demigod shenanigans. We take the merriment we found in that, and I want you to let it set you at ease as you lay your head on your pillow tonight. And I pray it helps you to wake up with a smile tomorrow morning. Alright, till next time, wildflowers. Keep on swaying. Hope to see you tomorrow for Fantasy Friday. Alright, I'll see you then.
Thank you.